New Jersey, home to the scenic Trenton tar pits, Rutt's Hut, and a UFO drone armada? What? The day New Jersey's been waiting for has finally arrived because fightin' Bill Murphy called an emergency meeting with the Department of Homeland Security to get to the bottom of this bizarre drone mystery, and he didn't show up. Alright, well, there was also a congressional hearing where the FBI was asked questions about what's going on with these mystery drones. So surely there were some answers to be gained from that.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are?
That's right.
So you're telling me the FBI is more concerned about harassing the lesser-known Mario brother while he's experiencing Altoonan hate crimes against Italians than they are about figuring out what's going on in our airspace. Oh, that's really nice. But we did learn the budget the FBI spends on defending our airspace.
My budget that would specifically include the technology that we use.
Is it 500,000?
It's 500,000.
That doesn't seem nearly adequate. What is the budget for the FBI right now?
Roughly 11 billion.
We're f***ed, baby. And apology time. I'm sorry, guys. In the last video, I was gonna chime in on the Taylor ham versus pork roll debate, and I got a little interrupted. So this time, let me just settle it once and for all. The real answer, what it's actually called, drones! You ever just feel like skipping drone day at work? Well, that's how Governor Murphy was feeling this Wednesday. He called an emergency meeting with the Department of Homeland Security and a bunch of mayors across New Jersey to figure out what's going on with these drones. And yeah, he didn't show up. And overall, the vibe of this meeting can best be summed up with this clip here.
I walked out because it was worthless. It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything, okay? It was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it, but they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there. I drove 2 hours to be here today, spent an hour in there. I got to drive 2 hours back. The biggest waste of 5 hours in my entire life.
So why do you think they called this meeting?
No idea. Why would you call a meeting to tell people you don't know anything? I have no idea. And then when the legislators would ask questions, there were no answers. Here's the most frustrating part. The colonel of the state police said that he had a helicopter of his flying over above one of these drones, a 6-foot drone or something, I can't remember exactly what he said, and he felt unsafe for his helicopter, so he just let it go. Just let it go. Where'd it go? Who knows? You know, didn't want to follow it because you didn't feel safe. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I mean, honestly.
Do they have any idea where these drones are originating?
No, they don't. They would. Maybe if they followed that sucker to when it landed, they would know, but they don't. This is a complete lack of effort, in my opinion, on trying to figure this out. This is not about ability. We have the technology, we have the people, we have the training, we have the resources, we have the money. It's just a lack of effort. I mean,
why?
I don't know. They should be saying, you know what they should have done today with productive use of our time if they didn't know anything? Come in there and say, hey, legislators, we don't know anything. But if you get us these 10 things, do these 10 things for us, and the governor calls in this kind of action, we can figure it out. Will you help us? And then we would have helped them. But instead it was just excuse after excuse and we know nothing. It was infuriating, and I got up and I walked out.
You've been in the service, right?
Yeah, I was an attack helicopter pilot, Apache helicopter pilot in the Army, and I helped stand up the initial unmanned aircraft training battalion in the aviation sector of the Army. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and these guys are not doing the job they need to do to figure out what's going on, and that is the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the state police.
And they're saying no threat to Americans.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing.
I don't think many people were surprised that a big fat nothing burger was served on the menu here. And the feeling across New Jersey right now is we're getting a little testy. People want to know what's happening. And it seems to be that the answer to everything is we don't know. Are these foreign entities? We don't know. Are these our drones? We don't know. How do you not know both of them? It's pretty ridiculous. And this cannot be better illustrated than by the congressional hearing that was had today as well. So not only were, New Jersey state officials getting a meeting about what's going on with the drone situation, but politicians across the country were grilling the FBI, trying to figure out what they're doing about these drones in general. There was a congressional hearing about drone safety, and questions got brought up naturally about what's going on in New Jersey. Side note, I can't be the only one that was looking at this guy the whole meeting thinking he looks just like the dude from The Fairly Odd Parents, the muscular ripped army dude. He looks like if you asked a kid to draw an army dude, that's what they would draw. It's just impressive to be that army shaped. Here were some of the questions that were asked at today's meeting, and here were some of the answers.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
Sir, the FBI and our Newark field office, along with the state and local partners there, the Bureau is actively investigating the situation you mentioned, just the unexplained sighting of drone activity over that part of New Jersey. We do not attribute that to an individual or a group yet. We're investigating, but I don't have an answer of who's responsible for that, of one or more people that are responsible for those drone flights. But we're actively investigating.
These drones over New York and New Jersey, flying over critical infrastructure, flying over some of, whether it's the Verrazano Bridge or others, I mean, I have to agree with my colleagues. The fact that we continue to say that we don't know what they are, we don't know what they're doing. I mean, the American people are looking at us and they think that we're lying to them because they think, how could you possibly not have answers to drones flying over some of the most critical airspace in the country? So, I mean, if we're expecting the American people to believe in the information that we're giving them, I think we do need to do better. And so, Mr. Wigman or Mr. Wheeler, very simple questions. Do federal agencies have the ability to assist local law enforcement agencies with their counter UAS capabilities everywhere and every time it's needed?
Not today. That's what we're seeking from the Congress.
Yep.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Are there events and places that would benefit from counter UAS capabilities that federal agencies are simply not able to cover?
Absolutely. There are.
Yes.
All right. In your submitted statement, you both said, quote, we need to empower state, local, tribal, and territorial law enforcement agencies across the country, which are primarily responsible for keeping our citizens safe at the local level, to take the steps needed to protect their communities from the emerging threat. This past year, right in my district, in the middle of my district in Nassau County, we hosted the 2024 International Cricket World Cup. The federal government was only able to assist with their counter UAS capabilities for a small portion of the tournament. What is the current impact of local law enforcement not having these authorities? And I'll leave that to any of you.
Well, I think that's the main thing, is the capacity. We need more capacity to be able to do the mission, and we strongly support state and local jurisdictions having that capacity and authority and the ability to help.
Right. And I think I'm sorry, Mr. Woodman, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's right. And just to answer your question also, Mr. Congressman Gonzalez as well, I mean, I think all of us on the panel share your view that we need to do more and more resources. If we do get the authorities, we will certainly need more resources. Right. Even if state and locals are doing it, that will require training and additional work and approval on our end. So more resources, more authorities, those are all things that we would support.
What can you tell us about what you guys do know?
So the public reports and what we have from eyewitness sightings, some of those very credible police personnel and others are what we describe as unidentified drones. We do not know the particular specifics of what those drones are. Some are described as being slightly larger than a commercial available drone. Fixed wing as well as rotary. We have helped analyze with our partners video and pictures of what those look like, what have been submitted. Part of that is these over 3,000 tips from the public, and to look at that. But as I previously stated, we don't know the people responsible behind that, and that's what we're working on.
Some of these terrorist cells that might be in the country right now, or maybe even outside of our borders, what do you think that they're looking at when they see a hearing like this and they see that you guys still, after almost a month, don't know who these drones are? What do you think that they're thinking?
So I would be measured in how we speak about our capability and what our limitations and capacity is. However, I'll say to you that it's not as good as I wish it was, and we'll continue to work to make it better.
Yeah, well, when you're only spending $500,000 a year, it's probably not going to be very good, is it?
The only thing I would say about that is that this is an enterprise-wide problem. It's not just a technological problem, that most of that $11 billion budget for the FBI gets after threats to Americans, this being one of them.
So yeah, we pretty thoroughly don't know anything, like in every flavor of not knowing. And I think that's one of the big reasons why people are like, we just don't believe anything that's being said in any of these things. How can you not know what's happening here, but also know that it's not a threat to us, right? We don't have anything to worry about. I mean, that's why I think ultimately, I talked about this last time, the theory of Occam's razor, you know, the most logical explanation with the least amount of twisting and turning, is usually what ends up being the answer to like a mystery like this. So ultimately, when we hear these answers that are like, we know they're not foreign, we know they're not ours, and we know they're not a threat. It's like, how can you know those three things? So like that, one of them has to be a lie, right? And I just have to assume, you know, they still haven't done anything really about these things. I have to assume they're ours and they're being tested, you know, something like that's happening. I don't know if it's like some sort of push to get legislation made about drones, you know, that allow our drones into the sky to do things. Everything else just doesn't seem to make sense. There were also claims from one New Jersey representative that these drones were being deployed from an Iranian ship off the coast of the Northeast, but that's a completely unsubstantiated claim. The only source that he had was him saying, I have a reliable source. So until we have anything official on that, I'm not putting that in the equation. That just seems like somebody making something up at this point. The Pentagon even addressed the claims of Iranian ships off the coast along with some other questions about the New Jersey drone situation.
So aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but, you know, at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
A couple of questions about drones. There have been repeated drone sightings in the Northeast, especially in New Jersey. These are not small drones, some of them pretty large. They're flying at low altitudes, they're flying in flocks. Has the president been briefed on this situation?
So we are certainly aware, the president is aware. So we're closely tracking the activity and coordinating closely with relevant agency, including DHS and FBI, to continue to investigate these incidents. Don't have anything beyond that to share. Obviously, this is something that DHS and FBI are tracking very, very closely, and so I would have to refer you to them directly, but aware. Keeping an eye out and looking into the incidents that you just mentioned.
Couple still though, but has the federal government ruled out that these are controlled by foreign entities?
Yeah.
And do you know if they're conducting surveillance over these
So
areas?
I cannot make any kind of predictions or comments about that specifically from here. This is something that DHS is looking at and FBI, so I would have to refer you to them. I don't have anything beyond that. We're tracking this very closely. Obviously, we're all aware of the incidents that have been reported. I'm not going to go into what they could be or could not be from here. That is something that obviously is being looked at as those respective agencies that I mentioned.
When was the president briefed on this?
I don't have a timeline, but he certainly has been made aware of this.
And
his
the New Jersey governor said, it's frustrating that there aren't answers about where these are coming from, and that people are very concerned about this. What's the White House message to the people up there who are frustrated that there isn't any information right now?
And obviously, we hear them and we understand that. We are closely tracking this. We are monitoring the incidents that have been put forward and certainly made public. And we have two agencies that I've already mentioned that are looking into this, working closely with folks on the ground, trying to get to the bottom of it. I don't have anything more to share beyond that.
So in an official capacity, that's where things stand right now. Nobody knows anything. We're in the same place we've been for the past few weeks. And it's just getting weird out here in Jersey.
What the fuck? It's supposed to be Christmas music. That doesn't sound normal.
Last time I brought up a Facebook group that has been blowing up in size. What started as a small group with a couple hundred people from New Jersey talking about this is now thousands and thousands of members from across the country, talking about different drone experiences and what they're seeing locally. And because this is the internet, there's of course a little bit of drama in the Facebook group. In my last video, we talked about a poster to this group known as Daniel Herbert, somebody who works or owns this company called Skygear. Skygear does drone work, and their website lists contracts that they've had with state governments and federal institutions. They also have a heat map that shows drone deployment, with a lot of those drones over hotspots that we've seen in New Jersey. Now, Daniel had been posting up and down in this group all sorts of stuff, being kind of ominous, sort of hinting at the fact that maybe his company has something to do with this. Although he never directly said anything about that, it made a lot of people think that that could be what's going on. This started gaining traction, and as people looked into him, they found a Better Business Bureau website with a lot of negative reviews, people calling him a scam artist and things like that. People started posting underneath his post in the Facebook group that they found this information and that he may be a scammer or something like that. Daniel would drop things into this group like the Men in Black mind eraser thingamajig, what I think is a Bible quote or something? And the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursueth. Trolly kind of weird stuff. And then he makes the following post. Would anyone actually like some explanations of what drones are with a solid breakdown of consumer level commercial and hobby use and military remotely piloted aircraft? I can share detailed photos and specs and prices and use cases here in the group and answer any questions. Maybe that'll be a better use of everyone's time than accusations and ridicule without learning a damn thing about what's really happening out there. Now, he came into this group trolling, and he's losing his audience here, and they really are responding poorly to this. People start commenting, this dude is just trolling this group. He says, nope, ignorance just breeds more ignorance, especially coupled with fear. The response, no, you're claiming to know what's going on and then just being as ominous as possible. So either you don't know any more than anyone else does, or you're trying to rile everyone up. Either way, that's trolling. And Daniel's response is, and those are the only binary options you can come up with? And then people start bringing in more comments. Exactly, I've got a secret, but I can't tell you, as if the government wants to work with a loose cannon like that. Chances are, because he knows the technology, he knows it's government and is trying to tell us without coming out and saying it. I hope he loses his business. This I've got a secret nonsense, coming here to Facebook to tease, to me should be concerning to the folks he supplies his technology. Can't be trusted. Comes in saying he knows it all, posting, "What if the people that know what's going on are just under orders to not talk about it?" Like, bruh, if your boss is the military/government, you've already said too much and compromised your duty. When your boss is disturbing the peace, it's ethically wrong to follow orders. Be a man, not a henchman. Expose it. Now, at this point, Daniel's feelings get hurt. He's come to this group to troll, but he doesn't like that people are giving him meanie-bo-beanie responses. So Daniel leaves a post saying this: "I'll probably make a more detailed post for those of you who are genuinely curious. For now, I just want to let everyone know that I never was seeking attention for my business or anything like that. I posted a couple of fun photos in the early days of this group when there were just a few hundred members. It was fun. Some laughs were had. I never claimed to be involved in what's happening. I did and still do claim to understand a bit of what's going on, but I won't go into that here, so don't bother commenting or asking. Regarding all the negativity toward me, well, that's on all of you. Human behavior is both entertaining and sad at the same time. The hysteria and hive mind behavior of the majority of this group is astounding. Everyone wants to blame someone. When a likely target arises, nobody chooses to ask questions. Everyone just chose anger and shittiness. That was the sad part. It made lots of you proud to be able to post a link to years-old false reviews of the drone company I founded. Better Business Bureau reviews are notoriously garbage, and that's why they hold no weight against a 12-year-old A+ Better Business Bureau rating for the company with not one single lodged official complaint. Oh, but nobody bothered to look at that info about the business, I guess, the info that matters. Additionally, accreditation is a pay-to-play scheme with the Better Business Bureau. You just pay to be accredited, and that's it. You then get to use the wonderful privilege to use their logo. Pay money, use logo. That's all their accreditation is. Skygear Solutions Inc. was never mentioned by me in this group at all. It arose because of the doxing done on me personally, and then people with too much time on their hands ran with it. One of the humorous parts of all this is when people claim that this is just me looking for attention for my business. Quite the joke. Skygear doesn't need the attention of overzealous drone haters running through its website and social media channels. I dropped a post in here recently asking if anyone wanted actual insight and knowledge about drones, if they wanted to actually learn about the technology so they can understand more. The post was met with ridicule and more accusations, as expected. Twitter accounts and Reddit threads with hundreds of thousands of views and reactions and comments regarding me, all false and all just a spin off of hive mind hysteria going on. Now, all retracting and blaming me somehow and calling me a scammer. That's the best way they can redirect, I guess, from themselves looking stupid and falling into the trap of attention seeking. Ironic how that works, huh? Oh, one last thing for now. I moved away from New Jersey 5 years ago. I've been gone and my company has been gone and neither has done any drone work in New Jersey for 5 years. I am 3,000 miles away from there and have no intention of returning anytime soon. I fully expect hater comments to blast this post as well. Have a wonderful day being fearful of the approaching night. Oh man, I love the internet, man. Like, you show up to the group to troll and you get mad when you get dumped on. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Like, I don't think he's even a scammer or anything like that. I think he's just some stupid dude who doesn't understand how a public group works. Like, nobody doxed him. He put his shit all out there for everybody to see. Like, I love the internet, and I love New Jersey especially, because, like, we just go Jersey with it. The general response to his, like, sad little post there is people just being like, well, you did it to yourself, stupid ass. Like, what? Nobody cares. So here's some of the comments from the response. You may not have claimed to be a part of it, but you certainly alluded you were. Sorry, man, you deserve the negativity brought on by your own cryptic posts and inferences. Daniel replies, when there were 300 members, now there's 20K. I never bothered to correct and just watched it play out. My interest isn't so much in correcting the negativity or being apologetic at all. It's just pointing it out now. And I'm still in observation mode of how people in this group develop. Someone even tries to give him the benefit of the doubt and says, Daniel Herbert sounds like a man who made a mistake. Can we just forgive and move on? To which he responds, didn't really make any mistake at all. I wasn't trying to be apologetic with this post. Clarifying maybe. I appreciate your respect though for certain. Like, yes, you did make a mistake. You trolled this group, and then when everybody got mad at you, you went, why everybody mad at me? I just troll for fun. I'm observing the human experience and you're all just little dummies. Like, yeah, dude, if you act like an ass, people are gonna treat you like you're an ass. This is just the way it is. Then we start roasting. Classic attention-seeking behavior. Pathetic for a grown man. I did and still do claim to understand a bit of what's going on here, but I won't get into that here, so don't bother commenting/asking. Daniel says, thank you for adding to the noise. Eventually a response says, dude, you are the noise. You're still just attention-seeking now. It's sad and pathetic. And then this lady Shirley Beth comes in with a humdinger on him. I don't think he even realizes we were all laughing at his stupidity and his pretend company. He's already been out. Go away, Danny boy. He says exactly the response I'm expecting here. Thank you. And then, just to illustrate how much of a goon this guy is, he, without even a response coming his way, he just adds, by the way, you have one of the longest names on Facebook I've ever seen. It's like a Starbucks order. And Shirley responds to that knee slapper by saying, you said that yesterday and nobody laughed. Goodbye, little man. Boom! Absolute detonation on him. And just more dunks. It's Dunk City over here. Yes, you did mention that company, liar. Cry the pity party all you want. You trolled the group by being vague and coy with your pics and BS statements as if you were in the know somehow. Clearly you didn't know jack shit and everyone called you out on it. Fuck off already. Interesting stuff when you read the reviews, but I found this very interesting. This is who we're supposed to take advice from, LOL. And then here's Daniel not saying the word sky gear, but correcting somebody on the spelling, clearly showing his association and, implying that there might be something going on here. Someone mentions the fact that the heat map shows drones in New Jersey, and this guy's saying he hasn't been in New Jersey in years. Then Daniel also mentions this post that he used with another guy and the big drone in it was, he says, yeah, while that was a bit of an attention getter post, no doubt, I was also hoping that it would let some people realize that drones aren't necessarily just a little hobby toy thing. So I do find it funny that he's like, I wasn't attention seeking. And then another comment, he's like, yeah, that was an attention getter post for sure. A very sensible comment here. I'm not a proponent of being negative towards someone through a social media app, which is why I rarely comment, but just for clarity, I did initially think you were involved only because your first post was alluding that you were involved or knew what was going on. You made a comment when someone asked that you wouldn't elaborate further because this was too much fun or too good, I forget which. Some people in here, not me, are actually scared for what's going on, and I suppose didn't find the humor in what I see now was just a joke. I don't think it's right to go real life and attack someone's business though. And that's 100% fair, right? You go post in a group with people who are scared of what's going on. You say you're willing to educate people, but when they ask, you kind of just laugh at them. So yeah, people are going to be scared. And they're going to be mad at you for when you're kind of lying or crying wolf. Summed up perfectly here. You came here seeking attention and playing on people's fears. So this is on you, dude. You wanted the bull, you got the horns. Just own it. So yeah, silly drama in the Facebook group. Not nearly as important as these mystery drones in the sky, but it's kind of like the little things you have to focus on while you're trying to not focus on the alien invasion that's going on right now. But whatever. Look, hopefully we find out more about this situation. If we do, I'll update. Again, I'm an Occam's razor man. I think it's ours. I think it's military stuff, something like that we just can't know about. But I suppose we might find out over the next few days. Let's keep our eyes on the skies, New Jersey. I've been Hellion.Vision. Like and subscribe if you dig what we're doing here. Go invisible!